I'm back again to show you the second oracle deck that arrived today, and it's one that is very much in keeping with the season that we're in. It's also one of a set of oracle cards, and it's published by Rockpool Publications, and it is a deck created by Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz with the illustrations by Guido Rose, and it's the season of the witch. So I'm sure there are many of you who are pretty much familiar with this and this particular oracle deck and the others that are in the series. So let's have a look and see what it says in the blurb on the back. And the wheel turns. Yule reminds us of warmth, happiness, and a time to be thankful for all that we have. For centuries, ancient healers have celebrated the restorative energies of the Yuletide festival, the traditional harsh winters reminding us of our impressive ability to weather tough storms and find support and comfort with loved ones. In Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle, you discover 44 healing messages to align you with the divine wisdom of the year's darkest night and the joyful celebration associated with the winter holidays. This oracle is your path to deep reflection and tranquility, and is a promise of the brighter days to come. So that is the Season of the Witch Yuletide Oracle. So inside it's a two-part box, pretty much like most of our oracle decks are in the nice two-part boxes. Oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting this, the green gilding. Oh, I'm a sucker for a bit of gilding, good gilding, and green is beautiful. Just look at that. My goodness, I haven't got a green gilded deck. That has just sucked me right in. So let's see what we have here. Oh, download your free Rockpool Oracle reading cards available now. Oh, we'll have a little look at that after. Now, these straight away have that sort of Yuletide vibe, you know, that's the greens, reds and golds. And here we can see this on the back, which is lovely. I do like the pattern on the back. Absolutely glorious. And the cards are actually nice and strong. A bit glossy, but sure, that's not a problem. With the cards we have the book, okay, the Season of the Witch book. Now this doesn't have any blurb on the back of it, but let's have a look what it has inside. Straight away what I do like is the fact there's an image of the card appears with its explanation. It also has a little sort of a bit of not only the meaning of the card but a little saying. So for instance, this one I'm looking at here is keywords. This is mistletoe. Keywords: fertility, protection, spark of ideas. What dreams may come from the borrowing of ivy held tight within the womb. A calling in sorts, a spell from above, holy holly. And then it tells you all about it. So let's get on with it. Oh, we've got a couple of spreads. We've got the Christmas Cross tarot spread. Okay, the Christmas Cross tarot spread, which is very much like our Celtic cross. We have the Evergreen Wreath spread. Let's have a look. The Star Tarot spread and the Winter Care spread. There are quite a few. And the Year Ahead spread. So both oracle decks have the Year Ahead spread, which is going to be very, very interesting. This one has 12 cards, as opposed to the oracle we looked at earlier on has 13 cards in it. There's some lovely coloured pictures in this as well. You know, I like the fact that the cards that the book has printed in colour. Oh, there's two more. Interview Your Deck spread and a 3-card spread. Okay. It's a nice size oracle book as well. So the 3-card spread, it's past, present and future. 1 month ahead, 3 months ahead, 1 year ahead. Today's theme, today's blessing, today's obstacle. Then we have mind, body and spirit. Embrace, continue, release. Problem, solution, advice. Who you think you are, who you really are, and your purpose. You, status of relationship and your partner. Then what's holding me back? What's my greatest strengths? Action to find empowerment. And then we've got current situation and option 1 and option 2. So those are the different 3-card spreads that you have there. how to use these cards, and you have an invocation there, and a note on religion. Oh, this would be very interesting. Let's have a look and see what it says here. Christmas is a Christian tradition, but its roots are based in pagan ways. Familiar symbols such as Christmas trees, stars, lights, giving gifts, and even Santa Claus are threaded through pagan cultures and predate the Christian celebration. When you work with this deck, you will come across seemingly religious cards. In some ways they are. One cannot remove religion from archetypes such as Mother Mary or our vision of Jesus, represented by the Wise Men card, and still the concept of Mother Mary is likely based on the pagan midwinter celebration known as Mother's Night, the celebration of a goddess giving birth to the sun. At one time, ancient Rome celebrated their sun god Mithras' birth on or near the winter solstice. The celebration was known as Birth of the Sun. Pagans celebrated Yule as the return of light, meaning sunlight. Somewhere along the way, around the 4th century, the Yule celebrations were Christianized and the sun god was replaced with Jesus. Jesus became a symbol of returning light to the world, in the same way sun gods have done for pagan cultures for hundreds of years. There is a darkness to the tradition of Christianizing pagan traditions and colonization in general, but while one should not excuse our Earth's dark history, we've chosen to focus on the beauty these symbols have shifted into over time. When a religious card inevitably comes into your reading, remember that the true meaning of these concepts lies in the pagan ways. Remembering the roots of your practice is what keeps you grounded in truth, change to allowing you to accept the path to healing that is available to you. And you know, this is very much a fact from around the world. It's not just paganism, but you know, tribal religions have tried to be taken over by Christian ways from the knights. The ministries have gone off, almost decimating the religions of people that lived in tribes over the centuries, which is sad because I think everybody should be able to practice what they all feel comfortable with. And again, as I have said many, many times, as long as you're not harming anybody else, as long as you're living a good life, you know, this is where I have an issue with organised religions. But that's not what this is about. I'm digressing. Anyway, let's get on and have a look at what this seemingly beautiful deck has to offer us. I really do love that gilding. Oh, Mother of Divine God, it's gorgeous. In I throw the religious quote or saying. Right, bear medicine. There is no tomorrow without the healing of the past, for in stillness you shall find yourself right where you are. So that's bear medicine, okay? It's a beautiful card. The artwork is lovely. I think there might be watercolours. I'm not sure, it could probably tell us in the book. Candle magic. Finger the spine and caress thy lips. Light the spell spilling from your grip. Finger the spine and caress thy lips. Light the spell spilling from your grip. Now, it's the only thing when we have gilding on, the cards tend to stick together. We have to sort of loosen them first. Cardinal medicine. So it's all, oh no, it's not all medicine, but the first we have. So cardinal medicine. The cardinal birds are really beautiful. And I think, and I stand corrected here, that the cardinal bird in the countries where this bird is, would I be right? Someone might be able to correct me here in saying that the cardinal has the same sort of symbolic message that the robin has here, that we're sort of getting messages from our past loved ones, that they're keeping an eye on us and just making sure we're all right. So cardinal medicine. Thyself bleeds of sacredness, an honour fit for the gods. You are worth all the seas and all the skies and all the desires you hold inside. Then we have ceremony. I call upon those heralds of winter, dimming light for better sight. Hear thy praise spilling from thy lips, a spell I'll cast for thy spirits in me. chills upon my flesh within thy bones, quivers are crawling, frozen in numbness. Shall I ignore or shall I bestow it? A frozen knowing looks back at thy soul. Now some of these I am going to have to read again when I'm going through this deck on a deeper level, because just reading them off doesn't necessarily make sense to me. I just have to go back and reread it and say, right, now I know what you mean, and maybe refer to the book more so than I would with the previous Oracle deck. I could sort of look at bare medicine, look at the strength, you know, but it's the wording underneath, the message that comes with the cards. Do they mean to me what they're saying? Some of them I'm getting immediately, but some of them, because they're written in this sort of oldie English stuff, upon my flesh within thy bones, quivers a crawling, frozen in numbness. Quivers a crawling, frozen in numbness. Shall I ignore or shall I bestow it? A frozen knowing looks back at thy soul. That's not making a lot of sense to me at this moment in time. Cold moon, take with thy dearest moment of moments. Release me for their tongue and nourish me with light. It's not flowing, it's not. Take with thy Take with thy the dreariest of months. Release for me their tongue and nourish me with light. For their tongue. Release me for their tongue. Okay. Contemplation. It breathes in the stillness of all that is, exhaling all that isn't, coming from the ends of the starts and the highest of the lows. Here I gasp for the answer to unfold. Now, contemplation, and I can see those words fitting also with meditation. Oops, we have cards stuck together here. So let's have a look. It breathes in the stillness of all that is, which is true. When we're contemplating or meditating, we're breathing in the silence almost, the silence and the cleansingness. And if you visualize that sort of cleansing, and exhaling all that isn't. Okay, so anything that's not still, not peaceful, you're breathing in the peacefulness and the stillness and exhaling that that's causing you discomfort, which is something I do regularly in my meditations, or breathing in light and exhaling the dark. Yeah, coming from the ends of the starts and the highest of the lows. Here I gasp for the answers to unfold, being very contemplative and feeling, trying to get back to that feeling of peace if there are things bothering you. Then we have crone. Let's see what crone tells us. Thy wisdom befriends the honour in which weaves within blood. A heroing call from the depths of your sacredness. We've got the same hair. Darkest hour. There in the void of thy darkness swells the shadow of the soul, swallowing the wickedness into the blackness of its wholeness. Dove medicine. Thy wings are thick and strong, I see, for they have battled the most unforgiving winds. Be proud, be free, my child, go on, soar like never be. Go on, soar like never before, even. Like never be. Falling in love. The horns. I really do need new glasses. The thorns of roses rip open the heart, only for the petals to bleed into thy soul. Family, thy love is present in the presence of thee, a comforting veil that warms the heart and hugs the soul. Father Christmas. How did I get here? Lost perhaps? No worries at all. Gather yourself and clear the frost, for the good still lives in you, dear. Feasting, let us feast upon the nourishing and be thankful for thy feast, nor here or there, yet everywhere be. Forest. It is without question a place of mystery, whispers of power you've forgotten. Let thy strength crawl from beneath the ground and remind you, dear child, that you are magic. Yes, I like that one. Frost. Ice cold melting in time, a frozen glance at what lies behind, what lies ahead, what lies within, and the chilling frost of thy undead. Okay. Gatherings. Gather, gather, festive witches, speak of joy and drink to wishes. Take one, give two, celebrating all blisses. So, in other words, give more than you take. Gratitude, all that I am and all that I'll be forever. In gratitude I'll eternally be. Hearth. Oh, I like this. May your warmth take in the gazing flame upon the shivers, they melt away. And in the pictures above the hearth, you have images of the cards that we're looking at. Lovely, isn't it? Yeah. Light. Hope is but a word casting the unseen. Let there be light where light is but a dream. Merriment. What joy, what glee beams from the sounds of voices, uplifting the webs of sorrow, glimmering as if no tomorrow. Mistletoe. What dreams may come from the borrowing of ivy held tight within the womb, a calling in of sorts, a spell from above, holy holly. Well, that's the one we read in the books. I've heard that before. Must be an age thing. Excuse me. Mother Mary. Into the arms of a mothering embrace swells a wisdom full of grace. In thy bosom where she whispers sleeps the eye of winter. In thy bosom where she whispers sleeps the eyes of winter. Okay. Offerings. I give to you my heart's intent, wrapped in gratitude and thankfulness, devotion in exchange for your presence. Here I am, gifting my essence. Ornaments. So it is a remembrance of what once was, and with what will be, a fragile beauty beaming upon thy. Perseverance. Stay in thy power, dear child, for thy lonely is never alone. When the world is dreadful upon thy, turn to the spirit within thy. It's not easy to totally understand the wording here because of the uses of words that wouldn't be regular use, as in, stay in thy power, dear child, for thy lonely is never alone. For thy lonely. When the world is dreadful upon thy, turn to the spirits within thy. I wonder why thy is used instead of thee. When the world is dreadful upon thee, turn to the spirits within thee. I don't know. I'll see if there's an explanation again in the book. Poinsettia. Cast the shadows, scream silence at them, dear witch. What lurks inside transforms into the most beautiful of beauty. And that's all about transition again. Reindeer medicine, journey into the depths of your soul, an awakening of sights revealed. It is time for no time at all, for all is presently here. Remembering, oh how thy glimpse glimmer in the darkest of sights, never forgotten, never still, yet pacing in the mind in the twilight of the night. Sorry about the noise outside, that's the bin company collecting the bins. Ringing the bells. Ring thy bell to cast them out, ring thy bell and dance about. Swirl the sounds amidst the winds, nowhere to hide, for all will ring. Self-care. If not me, then who? To tend to a wholeness, the parts in which surrender thy pulse for a heart that's nearer than any other. If not me, then who? To tend to a wholeness, the parts in which surrender thy pulse for a heart that's nearer than any other. Yeah, so your heart is nearest than any other to anybody else. This is self-care. If you're not going to look after yourself, then who is going to tend to you, tend to your wholeness? And everything about you, where your blood is pumping through you and through your heart, because your own heart is the one that's nearest to you, not other people's. That's my understanding of that. I could be completely and utterly wrong. Silent night. If by night the world should sleep, a sleep so deep the silence be deafening, there would sound nothing at all nothing would sound. Snow. There is beauty in the divine that settles on thy flesh, a magical enchantment bestowed in purity. Solstice. All hail the cunning truth in which it burns deep within root. Rise above the ashes and claim the gods are waiting your glory, your name. Squirrel medicine. Pitter-patter, plan ahead, keep silent your path's desire. No eyes or ears shall ever see you coming, a well-deserved reveal. Star. Follow the stars, for they know best. Not too light, not too dark, a shimmer of what is coming next. Storm. As within and so without, there are storms a-coming, a change without doubt. Telling stories. What words so tender can be spoken so bravely unless they are true from the truest of words? Tranquility. In thy womb of blissful quieting and calming stillness lives the world of worlds, spellbound to the silence. Turning inward. Inside this veil of bone and flesh I lay my soul to sleep. All the truths within thy breath have come to greet me. The unknown. Think on it and you will stumble, for the heart is a ghost upon the unknown. Let it bleed into the depths, bearing nothing but desire. Wise men. If it wasn't for the familiar songs that echo through my spine, I would have lost what is lost and never found my purpose. Wreath. There in the circle of life tends to breathe death. One is not without the other, eternally bound by the essence of spirit. Well, that's very true. That one does make sense straight away. Yule log. Insert me with a bleeding thought, a sacred creation birthed from thy. I am God, I am goddess, I am creation and the creator. So let's pick a card and just see how it reads in the book. Let's find one that I've struggled with a lot of these because I just feel that they're not written for somebody to be able to pick up and say, yeah, I can understand that. You have to think about them simply because it's the wording that's used, the type of language, the use of old language, which is fitting with a season of the witch sort of theme, not so much ethos but theme. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at candle magic and let's just see. Now, candle magic said, finger the spine and caress thy lips. Light the spell spilling from your grip. Let's see what it says here. And it'll give us some idea on what's happening. Past the spreads. Bear medicine. So here we have candle. Keywords: intention, prayer and hope. Okay, so candle magic was finger the spine and caress thy lips. Light the spell spilling from your grip. So the spell would be in our intention, our prayer and hope. And let's see what it says here. We have sort of an explanation and then we have a magic tip. So we'll have a look at this. Perhaps more than any time of the year, the holidays are perfect for lighting the night with candles. They are carriers of your intentions, invocations and hopes for brighter days. It is common to light a candle for prayers and to represent the divine's presence in both religious and magical or pagan practices. The simple act of lighting candles reminds you that light can always be found even in the darkest of places, and that light represents a hope that all will be well. Candle magic is burning in your spread to inform you that your prayers have been received. If you are seeking a positive sign for your situation, know that this is it. You must have hope that things will work out in your favour. Additionally, the cosmic forces that be are lighting a pathway for you to receive even more blessings in your life. Your spiritual support team is always with you and will show you the way when you cannot see it clearly. Receiving candle magic is a sign that you are headed for peaceful times. And a magic tip. Carve an intention into the spine of a taper candle using a sharp object such as a needle or pen. You can try single words like wealth or protection to make it easier to fit on the side of the candle. Place your candle in a taper candle holder and as you light it, say your intention out loud 3 times. Burn the candle down completely throughout the day. You can repeat the same intention after 28 days until your intention comes to pass. Now, do you know what I like about this deck? And it's jumping right out at me. When you look at the title, Season of the Witch, you would think, somebody who might be practicing Christianity and using oracle or tarot decks, because the 2-3 can fit together. But somebody might see Season of the Witch and having that Christian background might make them feel, oh, well, that's not for me, that's more pagan. But that would be sort of a misconception, really, because this is taking in everything, as it has given a clear example here with looking at candle magic. We need to go back there. It is common to light a candle for prayers and to represent the divine's presence in both religious and magical or pagan practices. So this is quite inclusive of people's religions, beliefs and practices, and I do think that is quite wholesome, and that I do find attractive with this deck. The difficulty I am having is what is written on the cards, because when you're not used to speaking in this way or reading words written in this manner, it does make it quite difficult to get your brain into gear to focus on this type of language. It's not language that's in any way out of, not good or anything. It's just the way it is written. So let's have a look. Let's take another one. Bear medicine. There is no tomorrow without the healing of the past. For in stillness you shall find yourself right where you are. That is completely understandable. I'm so glad that came out first, because I can identify with that. Let's pick one that I thought was a bit on the obscure side. Oh, chills. Upon my flesh, within thy bones. So it's upon my flesh, but within thy bones. Quivers a crawling, frozen in numbness. So if something is frozen in numbness, how is it crawling? This is how my mind works. It's pretty obscure. My mind, that is. As is this in its own way. Within thy bones quivers a crawling, frozen in numbness. Shall I ignore or shall I bestow it? A frozen knowing looks back at thy soul. This is rather interesting. So let's get to chills. And chills was number 5. So the key words are wake up, call, awareness, warning. So chills, I suppose, without looking at this at the moment, when we get the chills or we feel a discomfort here in our gut feeling, in our heart or in our mind, we think, this doesn't feel right. We're sort of waking up to feeling what's making us feel unsettled or chilled, as in chills. So wake up. It's a wake-up call. Yeah, a wake-up call. Wake up and smell the coffee. Look what's going on around you. Awareness, a warning. So now that makes sense just from the keywords. And it's saying, shall I ignore it or shall I bestow it? So shall I ignore those feelings or shall I acknowledge them? Okay, that makes more sense. A frozen knowing looks back at thy soul, so you know that things aren't quite right should you deal with it. And let's see what it says. Your body is an intelligent being providing you with warning signs when you are in danger. Chills are one of those signs, and they warn you to seek shelter and warmth so that you do not freeze. Just like the body, your soul provides you with warning signs in the form of your intuition or the gut feeling that tells you something isn't right. There you go. Sacred soul, your awareness is needed now. You may be heading into a situation that can be avoided. There are red flags and clues that you have been ignoring. You may have felt the creepy feeling that something is off, but without proof, your ego tries to convince you that your feelings are misguided or premature. Do not dismiss what you feel. There is still time to seek shelter from the cold before getting caught at night in the snow. Oh, so we don't have a little spell with that one, but I think our little spell with that one, our magic tip with that one would be to take heed. I wonder if we have magic tips with any other ones. We did have that lovely one with the candles. I like that. See if we've got any more. There's a magic tip that comes with gratitude. And I think that's it. Just the two of them come with magic tips. Yeah. So there is a set of these books. There's The Season of the Witch, the Belchana Oracle, and Samhain. So I have to be honest, as obscure as I find some of the sayings written on the cards, when you actually look the card up, it makes total sense. This is going to be a deck to get used to. You know, it's going to be a deck that you will have to familiarise yourself with. What the sayings aren't there just for decoration. They're there to give you guidance, but it's picking out the guidance in a sentence that's written in an obscure manner. And therefore, that's where the guidebook may be needed more so than a guidebook would be needed with most other decks. This is going to be a little bit of an adventure, I think. Has that put me off the cards? No, to be honest with you, if anything, it's made me more curious. And so sitting with this is going to be something that I'm going to spend my time doing this Yuletide, because here I feel a pull towards them, and it's a comfortable feeling, not a wariness. So people, that is the Season of the Witch Yule Oracle. I'm going to look out for the other decks, and going on this, I'm going to give, let's just see, just out of curiosity, let's just have a look. I'm going to give these cards a shuffle. Call for diversity in magic. A note on religion. We have invocations here. Daily reflection cards, an intention card, daily guidance cards. I like that. So, out of curiosity, shall we give them a shuffle and we'll have a look at... we'll take the first one, past, present and future. Let's have a little go. We'll do this together. Because they're not the sort of card stock like the other deck I showed you earlier on, this is one that I feel comfortable shuffling and mixing up. People might say, well, you know, Elaine, be careful doing that, the gilding will come off. Do you know, gilding does come off. Does it bother me? Actually, no, it's not something that bothers me, because when you've got your gilding comes off, you know, it's indicates to me a deck that's being used and appreciated. One of my favourite decks is my Tarot Illuminati, and that is so worn now. There's virtually no gilding left on it. Does it bother me? No, it's a deck I love. Will I replace it with a new one to have the gilding look new? No, I won't, because I just love the deck that I have. So let's have a look. Give another little shuffle, little riffle. And they're much bigger cards than tarot cards. You can see they're quite large, you know. Now, I'm going to pull the top three. Let's have a look. Card 1, Cold Moon, that's our past. Card 2, Remembering. Okay, ooh, 2 dark cards there. And card 3, the future, Light. So isn't that strange how I've shuffled this now, say we, using the royal we, I've shuffled these to look at past, present and future. We've got Cold Moon in the past. Now, if we were to take this as immediate past and we look at Cold Moon, when I would be looking at immediate past, for me an immediate past, because time, as you get older, time goes so much quicker. I just feel that my immediate past would be at least the last 7 to 10 years. And Cold Moon, take with thy the dearest of moments, release me for their tongue and nourish me with the light. So the release me for their tongue and nourish me with light. Take with thy the dreariest of moments. I keep saying dearest, it's dreariest of moments. So if I was to go back and look at my fairly recent past, it has been very dreary moments. In the last 7 years, let's take 7 to 10 years, In the last 7 years, I would have battled cancer. I've lost my father to cancer, very suddenly and unexpectedly. And I lost a dog and a cat to cancer. We've lost my mother-in-law. We've lost friends to cancer. And it is cold. It is the dark side of the moon. It is the cold side. And where it says, release me for their tongue and nourish me with light, it's let that go. That's happened. We've got through some really dark moments, but I'm here. I am here right now to be able to have the privilege of being able to look forward. At this moment in time, so we've got the past, the present, which is very, very accurate, the past, which is very accurate, the present is remembering. If you're wondering what that noise is, it's the dogs trying to get in here. I've put them in the hallway for a minute because they're really going a little bit mad. But remembering, and oh how thy glimpse glimmer in the darkest of sights, never forgotten, never still, yet pacing in the mind in the twilight of the night. And that is very true, because that past and that darkness that came with it hasn't been forgotten. It never will be forgotten. It was a rotten battle. There have been colossal losses that have been very difficult to live with, and changes in my own life, a career lost and gone that I loved and would have loved to have continued in it. But I'm here, I'm alive, and right now I've got the benefit of being in a place where I feel that I am much healthier. But I haven't forgotten it. It's still here. It still paces around in my mind. And sometimes, where it says here, in the twilight of the night, it's in the night when it's quiet and dark and lonely that these thoughts from the past, from the cold moon to the remembering. And I think we need to remember, because if we don't remember and we forget, things can happen again through lack of self-care, through not being grateful and have gratitude for where we are now, because we learn, whether it be ill health, whether it be the loss of our family and friends, they all bring with them so much hurt. But that hurt never goes away. We learn to manage, we learn to cope, and we learn to move on. So what's my future card? My future card is light. And this says, hope is but a word casting the unseen. Let there be light where light is but a dream. Because in the here and now and the remembering and lurking too long in the cold, light is but a dream. You are there thinking, well, when will all this change? Let's look at our current situation, the world wide over. Look at the situation we find ourselves in. We're remembering now our immediate past within the last couple of years, where there was no illness, there was no COVID, that life was moving on, and it was all good. Even though we might have had battles to face, storms to weather, we weathered them with the freedom of being able to move out and about. And we're remembering that too, not just my own personal disasters that have occurred, but the disasters worldwide. But there is light on the horizon, even if we don't feel it now. The fact that there is hope, the fact that that hope is unseen, but it lives here, and as long as there is hope, there is light and there is life, you know. And light won't be a dream. Light will occur. Things will get better. We just have to have the patience. Shall we have a look in the book and see how my interpretation of these three cards compare to the interpretation of the creators? So we've got card number 6, Cold Moon in our past. The words are release, purge, resourcefulness and nurturing. The cold moon is a full moon that occurs in December. Like all full moons, it represents illumination and brings clarity to things that have remained hidden. Having a full understanding of your situation allows you to release what has held you back and to see resources you may have missed otherwise. Now is not the time to give up. There is support and help for you, and that was my past. The cold moon is shining on your spread, guiding you to see how many resources you have. You may have to look in unexpected places that perhaps have escaped your notice until now, or you may need a change in perspective. You could be focused on what's wrong rather than seeing additional pathways to success that are available to you now. And then we had remembering, so that's pretty much on par. Now let's have a look. Remembering. Just bear with me, folks, while I just find remembering. Now remembering, reflection, inner knowledge and realignment, which is what we were saying really. Remembering invites you to think back to happier days. Now, there I wasn't necessarily thinking back to happier days, but days of things that I've overcome and in happier days. Oh, yes, we did actually. We looked at pre-COVID as well. What it was like to feel free and at ease. It's common to lose the feeling of wonder from childhood as we grow into adults. You build lives and fill your days with responsibilities, but the child that lives within you holds the key to your most authentic self. This is the part of you that leaps without fear and isn't jaded by social conditioning. Remember this inner child, for they are waiting for you to permit yourself to play. You have pulled remembering to remind you to have fun and to remember the little joys of life. Have you been too serious lately? Have you forgotten what it's like to make time to play and be silly? Life is hard, there's no denying that, but children can often see things with clear eyes because the harshness of life has not weighed them down. You're guided to connect with the part of you that remains innocent, knows how to be present in the moment and can see things from an optimism and joy. Well, I don't think we actually took it to that level. I think we looked at remembering as in remembering what's gone on, because there are two pretty dark themed cards there. Because albeit we can remember the past, we did look at remembering our freedom before COVID and looking on to light in the future. And likewise, looking back to tough times and how they've been overcome. So yes, I think we got that spot on. And then 20 is light. So let's go back to our light. Our keywords are hope, return of the light. Okay, brilliant. If there is one theme you should know about Yule, it's light. The entire celebration of Yule is an honouring of faith in warmer days to come. There is always light after darkness, and spring will always come after winter. No matter how difficult your situation, know that things will work out. Light is a dynamic card, and when you have drawn it, you can expect an increase in your energy. You are feeling more confident these days, and you're likely to see an increase in your motivation and overall vitality. That always happens for me in the spring. This is a happy card and a positive sign of success. Perfect. Pulling the light card is like getting a big yes from the universe. You can expect a positive resolution when this card comes into a reading. Additionally, pulling light is a sign of abundance and increase in all areas of your life. You may see an increase in your finances, such as a raise or an unexpected financial windfall. Lottery, 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 please. Oh. In love, this card is a positive sign of a new love or marriage. You might receive a promising job offer or clarity in a job change when it comes to career. Something positive is on its way when light shines on your reading. I'm so glad that came up as my future card. So I think that was read exactly as it should have been read. And is it spot on? Those three cards that I have drawn for past, present and future are bang on target. Yes, this deck and I are going to get on just fine. Take care, everybody. Sorry this is a bit of a long one. I hope you've enjoyed following it with me. Bye now.